Welcome to the cleanse video blog day 8. I guess we got to turn on the lights again. All right. And the nice music will end. All right. Welcome, folks. This is Health Alchemy, Craig Lane video blog. We're looking at today, day 8. I'm going to keep it really short. There's a little query from yesterday. Personally, there was some, we'll just call it cloud cover, persistent contrail cover, as my housemate kind of diplomatically puts it. Incredibly difficult morning, hard to get out, get going, and there's this persistent, we'll just say, a blockade of the weather, and so it really profoundly affects me. It has been for 10 years, and some couple of years I got away with it without much, and then it's sort of like they changed the chemical soup recently. So it's just all the better to, today's what I call do the minimum, keep my commitments, keep my accountability. And then in terms of value system, if my impeccability, I teach this in my natural law group, if my impeccability is the summation of my accountability to my word and my integrity, which is my alignment with my values, then I'm an impeccable human being if I keep to my integrity and my values and I keep my word. So I missed a call actually earlier. I felt so rotten. Just went into my AquaCure machine over here to my right. And I just had the 528 hertz frequency. I have this little cannula that goes into my nose and went to a deep, probably went under maybe in 2 minutes. Just felt really good to lay, like it feels good to be still. And when it's like this, it has been like this for 10 years. When it's this heavy and there's this much sort of manipulation of the environment, and the stew that I'm breathing in is so thick with waste and bad frequency that the only thing really I can do it if it's really bad is to lay down, and that's what happened. And then I had a phone call I had a commitment to that I had semi-forgotten, and it wasn't like a paid call, but it was a word thing. So I just patched that up, and I have a phone call in a little bit here with my virtual assistant. So today has been about there were tears coming out, and that's a slight chalkboard just to show you guys. I've been meditating for about 36 years, probably seriously for 30 years. And when I say serious, I don't mean like serious. I mean just doing it regularly. So in my world, I'm gonna do the freehand drawer, and we'll say this is the ocean of feeling down here. Okay. And any woman knows what I'm describing, immediately is, sometimes it's a calm sea of emotions and sometimes it's swirling. And men, the masculine archetype isn't meant to feel. The feminine archetype is supposed to feel. The masculine archetype is supposed to think. So that polarity of thinking versus feeling, yes, you can think and feel at the same time. So that's the integrated person, can think and feel and not be identified with either. So stimulants, what stimulants do for me is, say, we'll put red for the stimulants. It kind of keeps, I call it helicoptering. So you're kind of helicoptering up here in sort of this little basket, we'll say, and then here's Craig up in his basket, kind of disassociated from the feeling. So there's this vein down here, though. There's this vein of feeling down here. And one of the reasons I was talking to some people about why people keep overworking is that it keeps them up here. They don't have to feel. I was just talking to a man about this yesterday. So long story short, to keep this blog simpler and shorter, is I noticed just in the quiet space of laying down for an hour and doing some self-care, even just kind of holding myself a little bit, that there were some tears wanting to come out, and then I got the next thing to do. And then what happens is when the warrior archetype takes over, which is I got shit to do and I got a word to keep, is the lover or the feeling part generally gets squelched until there's free, quiet time again. So what the cleanse has given me then is there's been a landing, and this vein, because I know when I get irritable, which incredibly irritable, and even very poor mood earlier today, and even last night a little bit. So what that gives me then is I know that there's a vein, like I'm up here and I'm irritable because part of me is trying to get back down there. And then I got back down there right before this call and I realized I should do the video blog now while I'm still somewhat lucid. So that's kind of like, hey, that's the nuts and the bolts. So today, though, I'm going to do a little two-parter. So the query today on you can think about is, why does poor circulation turn into water retention? Why does dehydration affect nerve flow? Why does a short rest reset this? And these are some, how is histamine tied in with this? How is calcium? How is potassium? How is magnesium and sodium, the alkaline minerals, all tied in with this? And you find some, that's why my business, well, membership system, I really prefer to not use the word business because I don't consider myself in commerce. I'm not commercial. Health is essential. So that's part of like Health Alchemy is actually a private membership association. So when I say business, it's an add-on word to what it actually is, which is it's actually a ministry. And the PMA's papers are, it's a ministry of nature and health, and that's a big umbrella for a lot of life. And the United States corporation is not concerned with life per se; it's concerned with perpetuating its bureaucracy, we could say, to keep it sort of neutral without the add-ons of what the humans are doing on the sideline also, and funneling money towards their cash cows of if you can't see it yet, then you will soon. It's coming. The truth's, you got to work at it now to not see the truth. You got to really be down, head in the sand pretty deep. If you even look at all at either side, like I do, you see like a lot of stuff don't add up. And, it's because one side's trying to hide information. Well, there's many sides, actually. There's lots of clans. We're sort of in serfdom. But so dehydration, and this part of the reason why we talk about that, or I even bring it in, I believe, is because it's fear, and fear of the unknown and what's going to happen. And Nick's is sort of like this. And yeah, that's kind of how I got to earlier was, I'm a histamine person. Histamine is tied in as a neurotransmitter. So it's tied in one woman's claim, in the biology of Kundalini, which we're going to look at this paper real quick here. She makes a claim that histamine is tied in with spiritual awakening. And if you have the audacity to write a book called The Biology of Kundalini, as she did, then what you have here is me. I did a Control F for dehydration in my paper on histamine, which is mostly her work, her chapter in histamine on the biology of Kundalini. That's Jana Dixon, Janadixon. And then there's a more science-based, modern day hard science-based paper at the bottom, just to kind of cross correlate some of her more woo-woo statements with, hard science. So this is a credible paper here on histamine. And if anybody wants the link, they can certainly ask for it. I'm not going to publish it because it's part of my membership system and my filing, sort of a green med info kind of idea. But SayerG is a much cleaner system than what I have. Mine's just the Google Drive, and it is quite extensive, but I would love to have something like what he has, and maybe that's what we're going to develop at some point, is go on a server that is a database-based server. We'll see how Google goes over the next few months, next few years. So I'll read you guys something. See, normally when we drink water, it diffuses through the cell membrane. Well, what's a cell membrane? So I think it's important to understand that, like here's a cell owner's manual by Mr. Squibb. Should probably give him full credit. So cell owner's manual, 2009, Mark Squibb. So there's Mark Squibb, and give him full credit. And this is quite a book. It's 104 pages, as you can see. And it's going to go right to the diagram. There we go. I guess to appreciate this. So there's your cell membrane. See, another view of it right there. Maybe I should go one size smaller. There we go. So see, it's a really small thing, but this membrane thing it's made of a lot of phosphorus. It's made of lipids and fats, as you can see, and cholesterol. And see, the external membrane encapsulates the cell. So you see something like this, and it's like, wow, it's chemical and electrical. See, it's the brain of the cell, is one man's claim. So you need healthy fats, folks, because if you don't, see, the cell membrane is a chemical and electrical insulator. So the basis of power, and you want to get a nice, be able to keep that gradient like it shows right here. And we'll go into this more tomorrow, just a quickie today, day 8. And so hypertension is the main indication of dehydration in the body. And these claims are made by see, histamine is a drought management neurotransmitter. So histamine is used when the body's dehydrated. And so when there's inadequate water to manufacture energy for neurotransmission, histamine is activated to release energy from other sources. And then there's where the calcium fits in, the bondage of calcium in the cells. See, there's a unit of stored energy in these calcium to calcium bonds. So, and then see, there's where potassium should be in the cell and sodium outside the cell. And that's an electrical gradient there. So we need to keep that polarity going. And if we don't keep the polarity going, then we get dehydration, or we can't think clearly, we get brain fog. And then guess what? That's what, you know, I started a new parasite product, and I can't help but think that, you know, part of the changeover in the first 2 or 3 days is what I'm in with that. I'm on the second day, third day, and it's like the higher dose. So that's kind of all I'm going to say today, folks. But part 2, the much longer version tomorrow, we'll go into, again, if there's requests, please put them comments, contact me. I'm happy to talk about what you want to talk about with cleansing. And I think tomorrow I also need to commit to doing, I still haven't done the blood pressure check, and I really wanted to outline what that looks like for me and use myself in context. So, but just think today's topic, dehydration, and stress and histamine are all kind of related, okay? And that'll kind of be the subject line today. Dehydration, stress, and histamine. It's an important thing to keep an eye on. So have a great evening. This was day 8 cleansing blog. Rocky road day, but still keeping my word to do these daily blogs.